fucking minutes. I didn't notice I put it private at first. Yeah, I was like, Jesus. I was like, private. I was like, holy crap. I was like, what's going on here? I put it private. Oh, it's one of those days. It's very rough. It's one of those weeks. It's the weekend. It's still continuing. It's the bad luck. Just been rolling. Rolling. It's been rolling. It's been rolling pretty hard. Bad luck's been rolling pretty hard. We'll let a couple people get in first before we get on topic. So if the audio's good, hit thumbs up. Let me know the audio's good. I kind of screwed up. I think I made it private, so I was talking to myself for like 5 minutes. Hopefully it's like public now, because Jesus. The first time I was like, all right, this noise is going to show. I just talked to myself the whole time. And then it popped up like private video. I was like, well, that ain't right. And then I don't even know how the heck. Live chat. What up, fella? Done teasing. Yeah. Captain Slow, the audio. Okay, good. Yeah, dude, I was so slow. It's not even a joke. Oh my god. It's not even a joke. Hit the like button for me, guys. I don't know why we say that a lot. Just hit the like. I don't even know if it does anything. Stuart, don't comment on that. I know you've been hard on the analytics side of crap lately. Oh, dude, don't even. Oh, Captain, I was so slow. What up? Not a lot of good. You know, it could have gone better. Things could be better. Things could be worse. I know the truck's not fixed. That continues on the week. Part that I thought was gonna fix it did not fix it. That's what's up. I don't know. I'll probably go to the junkyard, pull some sensors, see what happens. I don't even know if they have that truck in the junkyard. Jesus. Brock's like, I can't find it. Live now. Yeah, if that other video's not up screwing people up. Yeah, cheers. Yeah. Well, it's one of those weekends. The best thing about it was all the people there. That's what made it. That's what made the trip enjoyable. That got me a lot of subscribers. A lot of people came up, said hey, hung out, watched me. Watch me suck. Yeah, just the whole Grand's adventure started off bad. So I'll lead off with that. The whole Grand's adventure, how my week started, and then we'll go into the hot topics, which is basically what Kart Chaser was. A nice political one. They're like the political way of seeing it. So they're politically correct, I guess. I guess that's the best way to say it. They stay very like, they want to say stuff, but at the same time they can't, I guess. It was a good show. If you guys didn't watch it, Wednesday, it was Paul, Jim, and Tim. Um, it was a good show. They did a really good job. They had some guys there they've been in the sport for a minute. So, and yeah, Coyote showed up. Coyote showed up big time. Can't take away anything from their performances last weekend. That's for sure. They were rolling. They did a really good job. They did a really, really good job. Especially in light. Light, they stayed together. They pushed the whole time. They didn't battle. It was basically a 1, 2, 3, 4. So they did an amazing job in light. In medium, we'll get to that in a little bit. In medium, Senior heavy was a good race too. I'm glad for Chris Carroll. He deserved it because he freaking had a bad time in Masters like I did. I think that's the thing. He tore up the same chassis that was running for senior heavy that was running up front in masters. Like every heat, he would just have to rebuild the chassis after it, and there's not that much of a break between masters and senior heavy. So he was he was he was booking it. All right, let's start how it went. All right, so I was gonna leave Wednesday morning. Truck didn't want to shift out of gear, so I had to wait until the morning to order a part. Part definitely was not gonna be in for a week. So Sean Lessick was gracious enough. He's like, "Come over, take my truck." I was like, "Wow." Um, you know, head up there, do your best. So I decided to pick up his vehicle, drive down back to my house. He doesn't live that far from me, 40 minutes away. Swap everything over. Then I hit the road around 8 at night, and I decided to drive through the night and make it to practice, right? So I drive through the whole night, make it to practice in the morning, sign in. There's freaking long line for registration. Made it just in time. And then I missed first practice because I was, just getting some stuff ready. And I was gonna break in. I had bought a block from Lawson, and I was gonna break it in. So I swapped everything over from one motor to another, but it wasn't gonna be the motor I was gonna use to race. So swap, and then first practice that I went out was practice two. Tires were from Charlotte, so they weren't that old. Maybe had 10 heat cycles, so I really don't think that's a big deal, big difference. It made a big difference when I put on new rubber. Picked up a second, which I should never change the setup. Practice Thursday, just went out by myself in the back. I was pretty tired, so I wasn't really mentally in it. I was just getting laps, remembering the track, trying to get gear ratio down, and I was on a 353 all day on gearing, and there's just wrecks happening left and right already in practice. I was seeing people off the track left and right. It was no joke. It was crazy. It was like people were racing that Thursday. So I was like, I don't want to be any part of this. I want to stay away as far away as I can. And then from there, I practice went all right. Um, was really really bad down in the timesheets, but I don't look at lap times. I just wasn't really happy with the cart, but I should have let the track come to me. That was the problem. I should have let the track come to me, and I would start changing stuff around like I always do. Um, Next practice went out, picked up 6 tenths of a second, starting to feel better. Did a couple of changes on the cart. Cart felt better. Um, but people were like beating and banging down the straightaway. They're side potting each other going down a straight line. And this is in Masters. And I was pretty shocked that people were freaking beating and banging that early. So I was like, all right, I mean, I don't know what you guys are doing, but we haven't even gotten to qualifying. Like this is still Thursday. We haven't made it to Friday and you guys are beating the doors off each other. So um finished up that practice, went to the last practice, swapped engines out, picked up a second. Cart was really great. I was moving to the field and I got behind a pack of like seven, and I saw them just freaking banging off each other hard. So I decided to pull it in with I gave up 2 laps just because I didn't want to be part of that group. And then behind me there was another decent sized group that just got through. So with all the mayhem happening, I was like, it's better just to park it. I haven't wrecked. I haven't slept at all for over 24 hours at this point now. So I want to get to a hotel. I want to crash. I want to sleep. Friday rolls around. Warm up practice. I don't know why I changed the whole cart setup from final to warm up and decided to send it in the qualifying the same way. And qualifying went well. I had a couple more tenths in me. I made a couple of mistakes. I had a perfect draft from David Cole because he went off the track, and then I lined up right behind him. I just that my fast lap I ran on him too hard, too quick, so I had to back out of it. And then my fourth lap, I made 2 mistakes that cost me probably 2 or 3 tenths. And from eighth place to 23rd or 24th was 2/10, and then down to like 30th was 3/10. So that's how close it was. I qualified P20th, and I was 2/10 off of P8. That's how close the field was. So the field was really tight and packed together. Um, Heat one, it was a crazy start. It was rocky. People were coming through the field. I'm guessing other people qualified bad as well, or not as high as they thought they should have qualified. And there was a lot of beating and banging and happening. Um, I I thought someone took me out. Nah, I drove myself right off the track. That's how the day started. But then I got on track, and then it all started with I was going on the outside. So the problem with the racing, and it's not a problem. Like the issues with the racing is basically, the track grip was high, and then they only had one braking zone. Really, that was it. And then the pass someone, you have to send it in hard and dive bomb, and then you would be, you can hang it around the outside because CKNA says to leave them a cart space on the outside, but people weren't following that rule. They were just sliding up and pushing you wide. So I end up after turn four, after turn five, that double right, I end up on the outside. So I was turning right, and the guy just drove me left really wide. So I was like, okay, that's the first one when you start seeing a little mist of red and start happening. I'm like, all right, all right, all right. This how we're gonna start racing. And then the next turn, I go. I'm in the middle, and they. I mean, I know the track's coming down, so the track narrowed up. So I'm trying to back out. I have nowhere to go, and they just slam on the to the side of me. I'm like, all right, now I'm starting to get pissed. I'm starting to get mad. So by the end of the day, I salvaged 40th. That's where I ended up in the end of the day because I was dead last in the back, and people were wrecking left and right, and so basically ended up 40th out of 47. Um, so now I'm pissed. I'm I'm not happy at all. So I'm like, all right, if you guys are gonna drive me that way, and and you guys always, I'm the one that says send it all the time, right? I'm the one that said send it. The whole reason that was is because when I first got into it, I didn't really know um, the courtesy of it, the racing aspect. I always thought like, all right, I'm on the inside, I'm halfway up, that's my line. Right? I've always driven like that. Halfway up the inside, that's my line. If I want to open my hands up and go wide, you either back out of it or you hang out on the outside. If you hang out on the outside, you're gonna go flying. Right? But now that we've played with this rule of, CKNA leave us gap on the outside, and especially this type of track that's all about momentum with no braking zone, and we have high grip level. So the only way to make a pass is really like dive bomb it in there at the scoreboard turn, or dive bomb it in there and then open your hands up, and hopefully the guy backs out of it if he's smart. That's not the way I mean that's not the way it works. Like, so everybody's saying, how are we going to fix this issue? And we gotta fix the issue of, maybe change the racing rules up. I don't have the answer. All right. I don't have the answer of how to fix the issue, change the rules. Harder compound tire? Maybe. Different track configuration layout, tighter section, more technical, different facility? Probably. Um, Understanding that if the guy is halfway up the inside at the apex, not with the dive bomb move. Okay, let's not get that right. Not a dive bomb move. Basically, he gets a good run. He's at the apex. You're on the outside. That's his corner. Give up the corner, slide behind, point him by. Use this, your head. So in Heat 2, I'm freaking furious. I'm pissed. So you know what? I drove everybody the way they drove me. Drove like me. Basically just sent everybody. If I was on the inside and I had the corner, I'm opening my hands up and you're going to the grass. If you dive bomb me and slide in front of me, I'm releasing the brakes and I'm pushing you wide. All right? That was just the way I raced Heat 2. I was not happy at all. I was lit up at that point in time. It was just, I mean, there is no point for it. You aren't going to win on the first day. It's a point system, you know. Find a good drafting partner and go. So I made it up to 24th. Chris Carr, I think, made it up to like 16th or 17th. So in Heat 3, I kept that mentality. I was like, screw it. I'm just going to freaking bulldoze my way to the front. Except I calmed down and I said, well, no, Chris is right over here. And I know I got Ryan Cassidy right behind me. And then, so that means if I can slide behind Chris and follow him through the field and push him up, we're going to make it to the front. So my whole goal was make up 2 or 3 spots off the bat and then slide in for Chris. That's it. So we got off started. Boom. I made my way through. I made it to like a 4 wide going to turn 5. I slid in. Chris got shoved a little wide. So I pointed him by, like I pointed on the inside for him to go. I dragged a little brake, got right behind him, and then we went. And we were moving up in Heat 3. It was the next lap later. I do not understand why the gentleman on the outside did it. Chris, they were side by side going into the cell tower curve, whatever the crap's called, on the right hander. Chris is already here, and the guy just looks and turns and smacks him. And next thing you know, I have to evade and it screws up my race. If that guy was smart, slide in behind him and me, because I was already there. I had backed out of it just because I knew right when I saw him turn in, I was like, this ain't gonna be good. So I backed out of it. They hit, they spun out, I spun out. Then I burnt the clutch up. I was like, fucking Christ, man. This is not going great at all. I was like, you gotta be shitting bricks. My weekend was not getting any better at all. So then the finals comes up. I mean, mind it. By this time, I think we've had 2 flips already in Heat 2 and a couple in Heat 3. So we've had like 11 red flags that day. I don't know how many people flipped. It was insane. It was insane. The thing is, I don't have the answer. I think last year we bitched about how soft the MG Reds were and how much grip it gave us. Like, it's not an issue tuning the cart. The cart was quick. The thing is, it was bumper to bumper. Yeah, there was no red flag for the Masters ones either, Joe. It was insane. Like, the guy was at the pond. He was out fishing. He literally flew out. They were both at the pond fishing. I didn't see much movement, but there was no red flag. So fuck it, keep driving. Keep going. Yeah, that was in Masters. It was insane. So I was like, gee, I mean, throw something. Do something. Maybe they should start handing penalties out Thursday. Or get more corner workers. Get a corner worker per section. Your job is just to look at that corner. All right? Just look at the corner and be like, all right, let's see what's happening. More blacks, less equals less. Yeah, more black flags. Point it out. Do something. Yeah, they had the scoreboard, right? If you sent someone, they put the scoreboard, they put the black and white flag up. You can ignore the black and white flag. I'll be like, I'll take the penalty later. Wherever he finishes, I'll fall behind him later on. I'll ignore that. It doesn't matter. I mean, he made us look like shit. God damn it. That's the biggest part. Like, they usually do a good job. Like, you run the South Series and like, oh, you guys are fucking. I can't believe you're talking about aggressive driving the way you drive. I drive people the way I get driven. If you guys saw in Springs, Insco passed me around the outside. Pinkston passed me around the outside. Like, I give them space and respect. Like, the people that show me respect get respect. The people that just side pod you and just beat and bang their way and they look over and they turn, I mean, that's the way it goes. I mean, that's just not respect. And a lot of it is, in the master's class, I'm guessing people that just got, freaking, so pumped up, like, hey, I gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. I mean, at that point, it's like, for the finals, I was like, I'm gonna go, but I'm not gonna win. I'm just trying to salvage the top 20. and then I get run over in the finals. I know the driver came up to me afterwards, and I said, "Shit, I can't be mad," but at the same time, I'm still steaming. I mean, literally got ran over. And the first thing the corner worker says is, "Hey, put on your helmet." Dude, I got tire marks on the back of my suit. How about you ask me if I'm okay? The whole my whole right side pod flew off, engine flew off, carburetor somewhere in Timbuktu. I mean, just destroyed the cart and everything. Just motor, everything, fucking destroyed. If I ever get the race with you, I'm side podding you first chance I get. Yeah, I mean, I, it's I okay. So I raced side by side with Joe, right? Um, I had we raced in the Masters side by side, and we leaned on each other, but we gave each other enough space, so you can go side by side. It's just, is it better to give up the corner and slide behind? You know, at this when the helmet goes down, sometimes we lose our freaking mind. I do the same thing too, but it's just insane. Like, back out of it. Give it a shot. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how big of the pace, to be honest. It was insane. I mean, could I had better pace if I stopped messing with my cart? Yeah. Yeah, I drove off the track too in the finals too. So, um, senior heavy race, Matt got taken out, caught up. Um, I mean, yeah, Casey was quick that weekend. Jesus. So senior heavy race, it was just chaos. The junior race had a really bad accident. Derek Wargo got. It was, I don't know. It was you know just basically shoving her nose in, and I'm guessing he didn't back out of it in time. Got turned sideways, and Lucas came out around the corner, had nowhere to go. Hit him pretty damn hard, but Lucas was smart enough to spin the corner, slam on the brakes, and then get out and run. Yeah, Masters were super aggressive. And then the big senior light, they were pretty good. Nose to tail, Coyotes. They did a really good job. Um, Dylan did not have one chance. The kid's too nice. He gets run over every freaking time he gets. But nobody wanted to play with anybody. Um, Billy, I'll get there in a second, but I cannot let the huge elephant in the room for senior medium. Now, this takes nothing away from the guy that won. All right. The guy that won did a really good job all week, and he put himself in the position to win. That's taking nothing away from him. So in lap two, um, Overbeck got a black and white flag and the board. So during the race, if you got a black and white flag and the board, um, basically you find the number and you find, okay, I'm gonna go behind number so and so. So you're gonna fall back. He did that. I don't know who it was, but he did that. He found the person and flew back to back, and then with all the battling and blocking up front, stacked the group back up. Overbeck made his way back through the field. He collected a couple people back through the field. He sent Aiken off the track, and then went through and then sent Colin Warren off the track. They were just, it felt like a headhunt, right? It felt like a really good ending to a race got taken away. That's the problem. Like me as a racer fan saw like the senior medium being the headline class, and it was basically just I mean, it was such a good race, right? It was like a lot of beating and banging in the back, but it wasn't too crazy. Like they weren't getting too wild. And up front, it was the whole pack was stacked. So it was like, okay, I mean, that's insane. The whole front pack stacked. Um, so they drove through and they were driving through fine, and then he got another black and white flag with the board, basically go behind Colin. So at this point in time, he's probably like, screw it. I don't care. I'm gonna end up getting a black flag, right? Or he's like, I'll just ignore it and finish behind him in the final. So immediately when that happened, he ignored the black and white flag. Uh, Rules stated basically you can choose to ignore it and finish where you want. This probably needs to be changed. And then, yeah, he went and blocked with 2 to go, basically stacked up the field, blocked, and let McKeithen run away with it. So it just took away from a really, really good ending. Um, I mean, honestly, really, you're gonna do that? You're gonna freaking do that? You you're gonna really destroy a really good race to do something like that, to ignore the black and black. Okay, you know you're not allowed to push in qualifying, right? We all know this. Who gets penalized though? Both of them, the pusher and the one being pushed, because the fastest lap taken away. So they should probably made, if someone does that, the one that he's helping should also get penalized for your teammate destroying a good race. It takes away the win. It sucks because as a fan, I want to see the top 4 or 5 duke it out one last time. So Colin got cleaned out by Overbeck, and then Hudson Brown finished them off. I mean, like okay, he's like, okay, Overbeck got him pretty good, but then fuck, man, like Hudson Brown's like, you know what? Target engaged and sent him. So shit, what are you gonna do, right? I mean, god dang. So I mean, the thing is, they're the premier class. They're the highlight of the class. I mean, they were like, okay, what are you gonna do? It's the end of the day. Okay, black and white flag. I already won light. I already won senior light. I'm already a grand national champion. I'll let my teammate run it. That's exactly like if I decide to slow down, get the black flag, and wait for a leaders come around and send him and take him out, or just stack the field up so my guy can go past. Insane concept. I mean, yeah, we could look back. Yeah, well, Formula One did it. Well, Formula One didn't really wreck somebody. Held him up, man. They're a really good dog. Did a really good job, but fuck it, you know. I mean, it's insane. It just makes racing look like shit. Oh man, it was just a bad weekend overall for all of us, and I don't know how to fix it. The only way I think about, pushback bumpers ain't gonna fix it. Everybody's like, well, do use pushback bumpers. You better start using pushback side pods then. That's what I got. Side pod the hell out of me. I mean, I side podded people too. Jesus, man. Yeah. Hey, I'm at fault too. Don't get me wrong. I was playing nice until I literally saw the gloves were coming off and nobody was getting a penalty. Nobody was getting a penalty, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let's see what we can do. Fuck it. And sure enough, they're only looking at the first 10 people, like the whole corner worker. I was watching a race. And for Masters, and David Cole got taken out in the back corner. I'm watching the race, and I see him get taken out. Nobody says anything. The guy's still finishing in the top 4, top 5. They weren't looking. They were just so focused on the top 2, probably. So get more corner workers. Tell them to focus on this section. That's your section. Start handing out penalties like crazy, or take us to another track, one that's more technical. One that if you don't back out of it, you're gonna end up in a barrier. Then you're gonna learn. Hey, maybe I shouldn't do this. No. I don't know, man. Racing. No, they didn't do much tech out of the top 5. But the other thing was they didn't weigh people for the finals, really. So I can have a guy that's lighter. I'm already done with light. He has another medium race. I just leave the weight off or take all the weight off, make him run blocker or push me, and then come in with like 3 to go or 2 to go. I mean, that could have been it. Maybe he was so fast 'cause he didn't have any weight on. I don't fucking know. Nah, the kid carts were good. They had one flip, but no, they raced pretty good. They're pretty clean. Kid carts. Most of the classes were this way. Like the classes that you would think they you use a brain were this way. Just Jesus. I mean, it was ridiculous, honestly. The juniors are pretty rough too. The juniors are pretty rough. I mean, I can only talk because I only watched the junior, senior, heavy, medium. I didn't watch much of light. I mean, I watched a lot of racing. I watched the light too, the masters. So most of the classes were this way, but I think it's more like track configuration and layout than anything else. There's not no braking zones there. I used the braking one section. That's it. That was what they called scoreboard turn. Other than that, it was send it. It was basically lift, turn, go. Maybe drag the brake here a little bit, but there's not much anywhere else. If you're gonna pass in another part of the section, you would have to really throw it in there. I mean, basically that was it. You got to throw it in, dive bomb it in, and fucking hope to God the guy gave you enough space to respect you enough to give you a little bit on the outside. Because at the same time, it's not one guy coming; it's a train. There's like 6 of them. So I'm trying to back out of it. I'm backing out of it, and then it could be the third or fourth guy in line doesn't see me and goes whoop. I mean, like okay, it just made it worse because some of the corners had a dip off. So I run out of room. I'm right at the edge, and then you dip a tire. I mean, where do you want me to go? The cart's only so wide. There's only so much freaking track I have. Basically, yeah. I mean, not dude. If I would have finished the race without wrecking the finals, I would have been happy. That would have been my weekend. Because once we got strung out, it was different. But when we were stacked, like for the first 2 to 3 laps, it was insane. I don't know how to fix it. Okay, and this is just me spitballing ideas out there, right? I don't have a clue. To be honest, they probably won't even fucking care or listen. They had so many entries, they don't give a shit. They're like, "Nah, we're good. We are good." I mean, I can the issues. So basically, a lot of people complain, right? How the issues are fixed. So here are some issues. Do some random teching. Um, at some point, make sure in the finals you weigh everybody. Who cares if it takes longer? Make sure everybody makes weight. And if for some reason they're part of a team and they end up helping out a person to win and they're way underweight, well then the person that's underweight and the person that they helped out should be DQ'd. Throw more black flags. All right. Make sure you put a notice. Hey, we're not going to play around. More black flags. Um, Maybe change the rule up. If the car on the inside is halfway up on the inside at the apex, that's their corner. So now everybody knows. Okay, if I'm going to hang around the outside, I am putting myself in that position. That means the person that passed. So if it's a train of 3 carts, that means the first cart has the corner. That doesn't mean the second cart can open wide and run you off, but that first one can open his hands up. And then it should be a little bit of respect that the second person in line just, okay, let me drag brake a little bit and let the guy back inside. And I'll do in another corner. Not desperation move. Like it's all desperation. You're all desperate. I put myself in that position because I qualified bad. I mean, shit. Because 'Cause, in Springs, it was basically not a lot. I mean, it was I think, better racing in Springs, but you had 2, 2 or 3, braking zones that you actually do something with. That double left-hander at the very end, that right-hander come to the straightaway and then turn 1 and 2, and then a lot of passing went down the straightaway, so there was I mean, the track's super wide. Yeah, I mean, that could have been it. They were super proud, the cart count, and, it can't be ignored, and, um, it's like, Reagan Seville got freaking taken out and, chassis freaking destroyed. But that was a good thing about the sport, everybody about the 206 communities, everybody helps everybody out. So they saw that kid just got freaking murdered, and then they were like, "Okay, well, let's get him another cart. Let's get him back out there." He did a good job, but the person that caused the accident didn't get a penalty. So at the same time, you should be dishing out penalties left and right. Um, do like I mean, poor Bryce in the LCQ. I mean, I mean the kid. It's right on Kart Chaser. All right, it's literally on Kart Chaser. The kid drives right into the side of him and says, "Oh, I had the corner, motherfucker." You're literally on the back right tire of that kid. You're not anywhere near. That was a dumb move. But it was desperation. I gotta make the big show. I get it. But use your head, work together. You guys just caught seventh. So you could have passed seventh. That means you guys would be seventh and eighth. But now you're both out because you spin one kid and send him to the back, and then you get 2 penalties at the same corner by 2 different people. How to fix it, I don't know. Preparations for next year, don't change the cart up, Jorge. Just stop messing with the cart. I had the equipment. That's the problem. Like the equipment was there. Me maybe not physically 100% because I got my problem with my neck, but I had the equipment. I had the engine, I had the equipment, I had the seats. I mean, everything was there to run well, and I did not take my own advice. I showed up to a track. I started, everybody else is running this, everybody else is running that. I should be like, no, that's what they're gonna run. I'm gonna run this, and just stuck with my game plan and did that and ran that, and I would have been fine. But I didn't. I freaking screwed up and start changing crap on old tires. I mean, yeah, that's one way. So basically, show up. You have to at least run 2 regional events before you qualify for grands. All right. Or grants shouldn't be just your one-off race. Maybe if you haven't done a regional level race with the CKNA series, do 2 with the north, northeast, 2 with the south, whatever. Two, whatever. I know it becomes a budget issue. Um, you know, budget wise with people going and running. But or if you end up doing springs, that should automatically qualify you for grands. So if you can't make it to winners, but you can make it to springs and you finish 20th or above, okay, you can qualify to grands to sign up. If it's your first time going, all you've done is club racing, maybe you shouldn't be allowed to run grands. But this at the same time, I'm like, grands is where you learn a ton of stuff. Like you learn so much through grands. Like I mean, I'm not 100% sure on that. Um, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So kill the people out west. So I'm not sure qualifying for grands. Just be a little bit more respectful. Just I mean, straight up, just be more respectful or change it up in the rule book. Just change it up. I mean, if it's your corner, it's your corner. If it's not, it's not. Let the person pass. Gain experience, gain knowledge. You don't see the top guys fighting it out every lap. I mean, the senior medium you did, but the top guys usually stay nose to tail for a reason, and they usually pull away. I mean, it usually happens like that. Now, if you get past, all right, don't just attack and try to pass him right back. Where did he beat me? Where is he faster than me? Let me learn a second from his line. I wasn't driving the best either. Like, so when I got behind Chris, I'm like, I'm just thinking, where is he beating me? How can I get faster? Stick to his bumper, learn as much as you can. That's what went through my mind. Not like, all right, I'm gonna send it in and see if I can get him back. Why? Why I'm gonna ruin both of our races? Why for 18th place? I want to try to finish in the top 5 or win. Why am I gonna fight back in the back that hard? I mean, there's one position. Oh man, finished 26th. Shit. Could have been 27th, but I got it. Not a big deal. Dude, really? Yeah. I mean, to me, you make one move, you're done. Like that's the rule. You make one move and that's it. So if you park it on the inside, you park it on the inside and you live with the inside. You're not gonna swing out the last second or last second swing down to the bottom or make multiple changes just because it's not in the braking zone. Bitch, there's nowhere to brake in that track. What do you want to do? Yeah, fishing needs to make the calls. That's true. Fishing needs to, yeah. Dude, but if they don't care, they will zig and zag and get a black flag anyway. I mean, they're gonna make the call, whatever what. That's the hard part. How can we stop it? And there might be teams out there that encourage it too. That's the problem. They come out with the game plan. I mean, the invaders might do it. I think they're out west. Those guys are out west. Those invader guys. They might be like, all right, so and so's up front. Don't let anybody near murder everybody else. Or VLR guys. Now they came stacked. They came stacked. VLR guys came stacked. Yeah, they look good. Excuse me. They look real good. But they could have done a 10 game plan. They could have freaking shoved it in the sand and just parked it. Done it too. MGM, we didn't come with a game plan. We were just out there to kill ourselves. Who cares? Just show. Hardware announcer knows 3 people, one being his grandson. Oh, really? Oh, NASCAR team orders. Basically, yeah. I mean, they had an LCQ. That's the problem. I mean, they had an LCQ. Maybe the number of LCQ should be less. All right, top 44 make it. 6 for the LCQ, so we need to run 50. What is it? What? Oh crap! How do you use it? VLR is a standalone chassis, a copy USA. I don't know where they're from, to be honest. They might be Chinese made. I don't. I think they're dude. To be honest, I don't know. I think they're Italian, maybe. Someone who drives a VLR that's in here. Answer that question. I don't want to say China. I said Margate's China. Man, Margate doesn't want to talk to me ever again. They're like, we're USA made. USA made metal. Okay, they're made in Italy. Thank you. USA metal, USA everything. I'm like, no, they're Chinese metal. So it's like tin can. So you didn't see. That's why you didn't see any Margates out there. All from China. I'm joking, guys. All right, don't get upset. Oh, I was so disappointed with the driving at Grants because I wanted, on the big kart chasers there, show off the support. Walking through the pits, though, everybody was super friendly. We're all talking setup advice, what they were doing, what we were doing, gearing. I mean, you walked across the pits, you can talk to anybody. I went down the pits up and down. It was so good to see everybody. I mean, it was just a great atmosphere. Like that's why you have to go to the Grands. You have to go to the grands. I always say you have to go to the grands. So the qualifier thing, after thinking about it, I don't think it's the best thing because at the grands you got to experience it. You have to experience the atmosphere. You have to experience the racing. CKNA did a good job. They stayed on time when it came to being on time. Um, they prizes were great. They just missed it on the officiating a little bit. That's it. How to clean it up? Have to get more volunteers. Basically, that's basically it. You're gonna have to get more people to run the show. I don't know how you do that. Basically, get more people out there to officiate, and that way, basically, you clean up the driving and don't focus just on the top 10. All right, it's the people in the back. All right. Yeah, I mean, there's 500 carts, as many as you can. Yeah, I mean, I think so. And then the ones, well, the non-qualifiers get an LCQ, so they still run Sunday, right? They still get to run Sunday. So at that point, you're still running. Just maybe cut down the size of cart class. I mean, you're gonna have to. It all comes down to officiating. Because they're probably not gonna change the tire of Vegas. They're not gonna change the softness of tires or take us to a different track. And the thing is, the hey Reagan, you did an awesome job in the finals, man. I'm glad that you were able to get on a chassis and go out there and finish it up. The LCQ was awesome. 40th to 9th, badass. But you got to um somehow clean up the race and clean up the driving. It's so hard. I mean, it's really difficult to do it. I don't want to be in that position. I mean, I don't want to take that on. I mean, I'm so happy they put on this event. I'm so happy they do a grands. I'm so happy that they do all this. But at the same time, it left me a bad taste in my mouth. Like I'm like, I don't want to come back. I mean, that's me at that point in time saying that. I'm like, fuck this. I ain't coming back. Kiss my ass. It's all team orders, political bullshit. Almost like TSRS. I was going so hard to not say shit, but man, it's just too easy. Yeah, but at the same time, like, so if they did a CKNA West, that would be the only way to do it then. Make a CKNA West and a CK Central. Yeah, the starts were pretty clean. Okay, maybe slow down the starts. Yeah, we gotta slow down the starts a hair. Because sometimes I didn't even hit the trans line. We're wide open throttle. But, I mean, okay, I could see that. I could see that. I don't know. How can you make it safer? Hard to find tech guys. I mean, I don't know what. It's not hard. Just send some to training. Send a couple local tech guys to training, or just fly Steve out there. Steve's like, no, fuck you. I'm old. I'm about to call it quits here in a second. Nah, man, get your ass up. Go out there. Take your wife with you. Go out west. Have fun. There's plenty of good tech guys out there. I mean, out. What are you gonna do? I'll make sure the finger is good. I'm gonna start teching people. I'll tech. How hard can it be? All right, that head's good. Get the fuck out of here. Dude, you could tell when something's messing around. When they start that engine up, it sounds like a super stock. You're like, why did it take two hands to crank that motor up? And why does it sound like I have a cam in it? Now get that bitch over here. I'm gonna tear you down all the way. Oh, the seal fell off. That's crazy. Nah, it doesn't matter. Oh man, that's a good thing. Well, then don't throw the black and white flag. Give him a roll up black or just wave the black. Shit, man. Big Block Ross. Big Block Ross. Man, that guy. Like dislocated his shoulder trying to start his motor up the other day. That thing sounds like a cam. That's what I need. One of those big blocks. And I was super happy with Lawson. Gary did a good job. He's an asshole, but he did get a good job. I, I hope Gary's not watching it. He doesn't watch YouTube. He's too old for that shit too. He's out there running with senior medium guys. The old fart out there. He was quick too, man. Old fart was quick. Running senior mediums. Huh. And he was still doing like customer support. It's him out there freaking doing this, doing that. He was doing that good when he wasn't even worrying about his own shit. That's crazy. But yeah, but he's pretty old. I think this should just go straight to black flag shit right there. That or take driving lessons. I don't even know how to fix it, guys. I wish I knew. If you guys have ideas, maybe maybe we could do a petition. I don't have ideas. I like it. I like that was so big. I like the event that was huge. I did like that. Breaking 500 from where we started. What motor do I think is the best? It's all the same shit. I think go with someone that's close to you. I went with Lawson. He did a really good job, and I like the track support. But my other motor is Victor Peters, so I got two engines. One's Victor, one's Stewart. Reagan, I'm not trying to be mean to Stewart, okay? But he was good at one point. Now it's declined a lot. I think it's not just enough eyes. The thing is, when it comes, so I was watching, right, since I had plenty of time to watch from the sideline. Since I was watching, right, I was able to scan through where the packs were. I wasn't worried about the top three or four, top three at any point because I knew they weren't going to battle it out. So I was basically looking like from fifth to eighth. That's the pack that I was more looking out for. And then I would look, excuse me, somewhere in the back because I knew all the back half was going to be racing. So um, when I was watching with 2 or 3 to go, I noticed that um, fourth, fifth, and sixth, and I think seventh started to group up together, and that's when I started to shift my focus to. I want to say it was Todd Barron, the number 6 from AEM, David Cole, and I forget the other guy, but they were all nose to tail. And I said, if something's going to happen, it's going to be in this group. So I kept shifting from one group to another group. And it's just watching where it's going to happen. You either look at the big pack and then look at the small pack. So about 3 to go, just late dive bomb move and send it out to David Cole. I like Dave's post though. He was like, you know what? It's racing. Shit happens. That's why dude. He was going for fourth. Okay, I would have been like, nah, screw it. I'll just set it how it is. This motherfucker sent me. All right. That's why I didn't finish fourth. He can kiss my ass. But no, they can't say that. They gotta be politically correct. Me, I'm just some random dude that talks into a microphone and say what the hell I want until I get kicked out of a series. No, he's doing more KA stuff, KA 100. So he's focused on the KA 2-stroke stuff. It's it's a political thing too. Like, sure, they're sponsoring part of the series, but do you wanna make them mad? I mean, it's a hard yes or no, like, at the same time, but there's some s people that sponsor series that, they're like, "No, you treat me the way I wanna be treated." It all comes back to the way you're raised and morals and a whole bunch of other crap. We don't have time for that. We don't have time for all that crap. Because Joe sponsors a class, and he's one of the sponsors there, and I'm pretty sure he's not out there, crying when I send him off the track. So, I mean, he's crying when we get back to pits. He's all pissy about it, but he's only crying to me about it. But he ain't crying to, like, the officials or anything about giving people penalty or trying to get any special treatment for his team. Because LSR is a massive team under the tent. I don't see Marshall or Joe out there friggin' complaining about rights that show favoritism. I mean, you might have other sponsors out there that they feel like they're entitled. Hey, I won't sponsor you next year. That's when the series owner needs to be like, all right, I'll get another sponsor. There's plenty in line. I don't give a shit. You're not gonna get a special treatment for this. Get the fuck out. I mean, it has to come down to it. I mean, but that's the way you're raised and brought up. Me, I own up to it. Like, you'll see in the second video, I'm gonna say, man, someone wrecked me, and I thought I could have sworn, man, someone hit me from behind. And David Cole showed me the video, and I wrecked myself. I took myself out, so that's all on me. I'm not perfect. I just race the way I get raced, and people race me. That's the way it is. And in the end, Eric calls me, you're the wrecking ball, do it for Dale, just send it. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do that. I mean, if you dive bomb me and then hit me, tell me to tap you after you screwed up our lap, oh yeah, I want to tap you right off the track. But if you pass me smooth, or it's a good clean pass, I'm gonna push you because you're quicker than me in some sections. I'm screwing some part of the track up that you're faster than me, and you got by me. That means I need to follow you, learn from it, fix it, so I can get better. I just think it's all about learning. It's all about adjusting to your environment. It's all about gaining new tactics. And I think that's why I like karting so much. It's so much of a different, tactics. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to grow. I wanted to get big. I wanted this. I really wanted everybody to get into sports and get out there and have a good time and make it to grands. I wanted that. I really, really wanted everybody to go out there. And then it just took a couple bad apples, but that's everywhere. It just sucks that happened on the biggest stage while all eyes were on. And it just left a bad taste. I brought people from Texas, people from all over came, and there's some people that don't want to come back to it just because of what happened. And it just sucks because you put all this. I mean, yes, this takes away from my time being at home, and my wife, thank God she lets me do this, and I'm pretty sure she gets a nice big break from me too. So she's more than happy to let me go and have fun and get the hell out of the house. I stopped bugging her. But at the same time, this takes a lot of time, and editing videos and putting it out. But I'm just trying to put it out so more people come in. And then we have a massive cart count. That's great. But then we have poor driving. That's where it came back down. I think if the cart's on the inside, I think the rule should be if the cart's halfway up on the inside, his line. That's just racing. It's his corner. Back out of it, slide in behind him, learn, him in a different spot, or pass him back a couple laps later. Find out. It's all about tactics. It's about adjusting to your environment. It's about finding new ways to get quicker. You're always learning. I know next year for me, when I go, I'm just gonna focus on the cart. Like, I'm itching to get back out to the track already and test some stuff out. Like, I want to get out there because I had such a bad weekend. I want to get out there and test some stuff right away. Like, I know I'm taking care of myself first. I'm getting an appointment to take care of my neck, but I want to get out right away and test some stuff out, see if it works. That's just the way I am. It's all about, even though I had such a bad run, I learned from this, and I'm just gonna grow from it. And that's everybody should could take it away. And everybody that showed up this year and had a good run and a good time, should try to come back next year. Hopefully it gets better. Hopefully someone tags him in this video and like, hey, listen to this crazy motherfucker. You might have some good ideas. Or his ideas sound horrible and you're not gonna do it at all. Or just ignore us like what you've been doing. I gotta watch what I say because I do want to run the South Series. I do want to run the South Series still, so yeah, I still gotta watch out what I say. But at the same time, you you want to build, right? These are a foundation we're laying down. We want to build on that foundation. So if we don't clean it up now, it's just gonna get worse next year, and the following year, and the year after that, and year after that, year after that. So side by side racing, maybe for 206 is not the best since we don't have the horsepower. It's about roll momentum speed. Maybe change the roll up. Like if the cart he can open up, that doesn't mean that person behind him has the line. He needs to give you the line. And if he doesn't and shoves you off track, like a little shove, it should be an automatic rolled up black flag or a black flag immediately. Get behind this driver. If not, you get black flag out of the race. And if you decide to block and take half the field with you, you and the person you're protecting get black flagged and get the hell out of the race. I mean, that's how it should be. Right? If you want to clean it up, you make it super strict. People are not going to like it at first. Don't get me wrong. People are going to be complaining, fighting. It's not going to look pretty. The first couple of races are going to be horrible. People are not going to like it. But after it becomes a norm, it gets cleaned up. I learned because the racers I raced with taught me. They're like, "Hey, if I'm on the inside and at the apex, I'm already up there. If it's a clean move, you better back out, slide behind, right? Try to do it." Not get two. You should start in the back. If you ruin someone's race, you should start in the back. Honestly, if you send them out and then like cost them 10 positions, because it's not progressive, the heats. I mean, the heats are progressive. So if you have a good qualifying spot and you get sent in turn two and he's got to start in the back, well, you better start in the back with him. Or you just start in the back just to be like, okay, first person that got a penalty was 606, second person was 677. So 606 starts last, 677 starts second to last. You start doing it like that. Excuse me. But like I said, I don't know. I just want to, Kart Chasers did their thing. They brought on the owners of it and the race team. I mean, they brought on Coyote MGM and I don't know Tim Labardi, Lowball's Labardi, Jesus, Lowball's team, but track something I think it's called. I can't remember. Sorry. Um, if someone knows it, they could write it up. I'll say it. They brought them on, and there was you can see in their face they had frustrations. So they just didn't say anything because they run a business and they gotta keep um a cool level head. So really I wanted to say how it was, and the racing was in the back shit. I expected trackside. Thank you. Tim Lowball's team is called Trackside. Austin Garrison did a great job. Reagan Seville did a great job too. So yeah, I mean, you could do that. It's so many different things we could do. But yeah, they did. You could tell they were frustrated. Not Jim. Jim Lepar he's pretty happy. His whole damn Coyote team destroyed half the field, so he was happy. Um, but no, Paul was a little pissed off. You could tell he was upset, but in the end, they did a good way. Xander can only do so much and say so much, because he's trying to keep everybody happy at the same time. But I just want to say how it was. Basically, the racing was crap. Um, we can do much better than that. We've shown that we could do much better than that. Springs was much better racing. Um, maybe you know a different compound. I don't want a super hard tire, but I want something not as soft as the Vega Red, so it becomes more of a racer, or take me to a track that's more technical. Um, yeah, Xander ignored all the comments, but that's I get on a business standpoint, he's probably locked into contracts and he can't say stuff that he really wants to say. Um, he ignores a lot of stuff, but I think that's just because he's held to a different standard. I'm not held to no damn standard. I just don't give a shit. Um, Jeez, I'm not gonna be able to race anywhere. To be honest, I'm just gonna be restricted to club level racing. That's what's gonna happen. Where do you want to race? I can't go anywhere. I'm just gonna be racing at the club. The so I just want to point out the rough racing that happened and the shit storm that was going on in masters and every other class. It just so frustrating, guys. You know, you work all year up to this event, and you put it on the pedestal. That was the problem. You put this event on the pedestal because it is the one you want to win. Like if I win this event, I'm retiring. I'm fucking calling it quits. I'm calling it quits. Maybe that's why you guys keep wrecking me because I say that. Nobody wants me to retire. Ah, Jorge's gonna retire. We gotta wreck him. You guys are the reason why the racing was crap. Oh my god. Senior showed up. The old man. Pops is in the house, guys. The other Jorge Ruiz is my dad. He's the only person to ever block me during a race. We were racing Ocala and Dang Pinkston, and we were Dan felt so bad he let me back through. We were racing, and Dad tried to get out of the way. He ended up blocking me, and Dan ended up passing me. So I got past, and Dan looked back. He was like shaking his head and let me by. And then he goes at the other. It's like, who's that? I was like, that was my dad. They're like, dang man, that was kind of rough. I was like, yeah. Should we comment more on racecraft? Um, Maybe. I mean, I think Xander has more clout. Like he has more following, but he's more on the two stroke side. Yeah. You know how Xander is. Xander, I love Xander, man. This is all, people think that we don't like Xander and stuff like that. We have an issue against car chasers. I love Xander and car chasers. But he loves that two stroke stuff. All right. He loves the two strokes. It's all about the two-stroke guys coming down the four-stroke class, and you know this kind of solidifies if you're a good driver, be a two-stroke driver. Kiss my ass, man. That's not solidifying anything. In this two-stroke world, it's like freaking Formula One and NASCAR. The big teams with big money win. You get a one-off heroic win like Dalton Haynes, and a two-stroke work a privateer. But that's not how it usually works, right? It's usually the big teams that win. The ones that come in and bring paid drivers. That's who wins in two stroke. But he's all pumping up two stroke guys like, oh, they came down to a four stroke and they made it better. Nah, they didn't make it better. They just race with the best in the world. Four stroke takes the money equation out of it for the most part. You have one set of tires, one day. That's it. One event, one set of tires. You pull up at the back of your truck, you unload your shit, and you race. Money comes into it if you have like around 5 and 6 and you're allowed to use new tires both days. No, just make it one set for the whole weekend. Take the money aspect out of it. Is one motor stronger than the other? There'll be a couple builders that's basically maybe a tenth here, a tenth there. You can make it up in driving though. There's way more made up in driving than made up in engines. Track support. If your engine's on point, your chassis is on point, your driving's on point, you're gonna be really hard to beat that day. But it's not like, oh, I'm slow. It has to be the engine. It's not coming out of the corner. No, your chassis is tight. It's stuck to the ground. That's why you're not coming out of the corner. It's not your damn engine. Your engine's fine. Let me take that engine. You put the engine, you run the same lap time as you've been running all day. It ain't the engine. It's the way that you're entering the corner. It's the way you're exiting the corner. It's all driver and setup. That's it. Right? The engine's part of it, but it's like a percent. All the engine bills like shut the fuck up. No, that's how it goes. All right. I only use one set of tires. Yeah. Maybe for next year I'll use two sets. One set to practice, one set to race. I'm cheap. I have to fix my truck, okay? But I mean it comes down to it. Just it literally that's why we love 206. Why is 206 so big? Yeah, you're right. The fast guy was on a 20-year-old chassis. That era was no, the era was from 2000. That chassis is 23 years old. He was quick. He was up there. It all came down to driver and some luck. Chassis setup, racecraft. That's why I like this class. Why don't you move up? Well, I ain't gonna blow all that money just to race 15th and 16th. I'm not gonna spend a ton of money just to go race up front. I mean, honestly, nah, they can't. The live feed only shows the top 5 anyway. They never show in the back. They only focus on the top group. I don't think I'm allowed to race Daytona. I think I'm allowed to hang out though. I gotta check my ban on WK road racing. To be honest, not 100% sure on that one. My sprint license is still good. My road racing license has been banned. I got banned at WK because they were cheating road racing, so I went out there and facilitated some fast racing. Yeah, they still let Scott race, but I'm guessing Scott's handing over some money. And they use tire prep and a whole bunch of other crap. So I don't want to get into the road race side. You guys are getting me fired up. I definitely won't be able to go to Daytona. No, I don't plan on racing Daytona this year on the sprint track either. Um, I'm super happy with last year's win. Um, I want to focus on Grands again. It's the only big one I haven't won yet. Well, that's the problem. If it no, I got Dylan's wedding. Dylan Amundsen's getting married. So, um, the thing is, if you go to Newcastle, the locals are going to be fast. If you go to any track where it's a local person's track, they're going to be fast and going to have the upper advantage because that's their home track. That's their home track. That's where they live. I think the only track in the South Series that was a complete toss up, and there was two of them. It's Monticello because we go once a year, and Biloxi. Those were toss up tracks. Excuse me. Jax was a known track, and Kershaw was. So the South Series was a toss up track where Brett. I'm not gonna say Brett. Where the South Series could have done better is restricted to one set of tires for both days. That would have made the South Series perfect. But the South does an amazing job handing out penalties. And then if they miss a penalty, the drivers will actually walk up and be like, hey, I sent this guy. I should get a penalty. Or, hey, he really didn't wreck into me. It was, I made a mistake. That's how the South Series works. That's how crazy it is. That's how we race each other. That's how the South Series works. We, respect each other. Some of the racing might get at hand from time to time, but at the same time, we call it how it is. And the competition is real tough. As you can see, Todd and I were battling it out hard. Yeah, Marcelo. Marcelo got a hand. He should just never came up to me from the cart. I didn't even see him. He was behind me when I apparently hit him off track. But we're good now. I don't know. I don't know what other track can handle that many people. I mean, we. I don't. Nothing comes to mind. No, it's Texas. I don't think Texas can handle that many. I know Speed Sports. I have been there. They can't handle that many people. I think Pittsburgh might be the only other location that can handle that many people. Um, man, maybe Trackhouse. Orlando can't unless they open up a lot more parking spots. But Orlando will be a mess. Track will be perfect, but Orlando will be a mess. Homestead, AMR. They have enough space to handle that many people. But that's too far of a drive for everybody, especially if you're coming from Canada and stuff. So, where you gotta find a centralized location. Yeah, Charlotte can handle it, but that's where springs are at. Jax couldn't handle that many people. Only other place is NOLA. NOLA can handle that many people. They have enough pit space that can handle that many. It's all about pit space. That's where you get uh, locked up on. Track size, a lot of tracks can handle that many people. It's pitting everybody there. That would be the big issue. But I think there's 3 tracks. But the thing is, it's Pittsburgh, NOLA, or AMR. Those are the only ones that I think. Charlotte, of course. Daytona, of course. That's about it. I don't know where else you could shove that many people on track. I mean, not shove, park that many people on track. You pay 250 to pit where? Oh my god, pit. That was expensive. More Springs to Texas. I mean, South Series going to NOLA. That's probably as far as they'll go. The thing is, a lot of people are thinking about sitting it out. Jacob. I hope that's your dad talking. That's craziness. CK and NTK. No, I'm never going back to NTK. Yeah, we should, but then they would kick the video off. We really need White Knuckle Racing back to do a podcast, and that would be wild. That would be a good one. I don't know where to shove Grands, man. I don't have the answer to that. I don't know. I would love to do a CKNA, finish up CKNA South, and then do a race up in Canada. So if I got any northern buddies in this group, definitely I would like to make it up there for sure. And maybe one race out west. That'll be cool. That'll be next year when I'm, excuse me, completely healthy and ready to go. MJMP. Where's that at? Richard, where's that NJMP? Isn't that a North series? Doesn't the North run there? North. I'm guessing it's North Jersey. Oh, South Jersey. Oh, dude, I guess Jersey though. You gotta give me some points for that. New Jersey. Yeah, I mean, make the trip up there. I mean, I'm already driving freaking 11 hours. What's another 3, 4 hours packed on top of that? Yeah, Texas. I mean, you could hold springs at speed sports if the numbers stay low. But if you get too many people, it's gonna get you're gonna run out of space and get cramped real quick. It's the only downside. No, we're not going all the way to New York. That's way too far of a drive. It's bad enough. It's bad enough going to Indiana. New York will be way too rough. I don't know. Maybe put a list together. I'm pretty sure these guys watch this podcast and crap. Night they probably don't. If I don't watch it, I'm pretty sure they have people in the groups in Barnesville. Really, if they fix the track, then yeah. But in that bull ring, no. South Coast is going there. South Coast Karting. That's the problem. It is. Newcastle it is for everybody. That's the problem. Is there a different configuration we can do though? Is there another configuration where you can do that you can add a couple, maybe an extra braking zone or two? Maybe run it backwards next year. Oh, from Atlanta. Oh. Honestly, maybe run it backwards. Maybe that would create a couple braking zones. I don't know. Maybe another tight configuration. Another tight configuration somewhere tight. That would t- it has to be somewhere that you can change it up and cause a couple more braking zones. If you get cause a couple more braking zones, the racing would clean up. Yeah, make it run it backwards and switch it up. I mean, you there has to be another configuration that they run that's a little tighter, not wide open the whole time. It's just the hard parts in the 206 you're wide open. I'm trying to think of it backwards. You would have to brake for the cut through. So that'll be one braking zone right there. Right? You have to brake for cut through. You gotta brake downhill for, you know, you may have to brake for the showcase. If you ran it backwards, you might add an extra braking zone. Yeah. Really? Now you say something stall racing? You've probably been here the whole damn time. Now you say something. How about they make another configuration? Which configuration would work that you add a couple extra braking zones with the Vegas? Long time this is our first time caller. Jesus Christ. What other configuration that we could use in you? Because that's your home track. That's why you had the advantage there. That's why. That's the only reason you had the advantage. Next year, I'm gonna smoke your ass. Ain't gonna be no joke. It's gonna be like Springs. I'm gonna look back there and be like, "Dang, man! I didn't know the grid went that far back. I know how it feels this week. I know how it feels at Grand, so I can talk shit. uh, but I mean, there has been no configuration. You guys get a couple more braking zones in, and passing becomes a little bit more about driver. Make it a little bit more technical track. Because as you can see, this last weekend we could hold it wide open through 90%, and I think that was a problem. I really think most of the problem is to make a pass, you had the side pod someone almost. If not, you're gonna sit there and follow. Because I was quicker than some of the people in some areas, but the only area I could make a pass was that I felt confident enough without screwing up my lap and their lap was the scoreboard turn. That was literally the only place I felt like, because anywhere else I just like, we would lose half a second probably in that lap. And to me, if I make a pass and lose 2 tenths, I'm cool with that. If I lose more than that, I'm like, ugh, is it really worth killing this lap or that lap just to get one position? No, to me it's not. To me, I'd rather sit there and ride around than do that. I'll push you along, and we could get a train of 7 of us going, and okay, then we're moving. Then our lap times really drop. But other people don't think like that. That's why if you find me behind you, I will usually sit. Um, I'll usually say a TSRS race. I usually sit. Like I said, Noah wanted to fight every turn. I didn't know why, but I found out he came from two stroke side, so I got it. He okay. Two stroke guys are a little slow, so I just sat behind someone. Yeah, I don't think that I said any turn would be smart. That's. I'd rather have the cut through, but I'd rather have it backwards. Where's IMS? Now you guys are using all these acronyms I don't know. Indianapolis Motorsports Speedway? Damn, I'm good. I'm good. No, I think that's the way they did it one time. It's like a road race. I want a technical layout. I really want to run backwards. Take this configuration, run it backwards, see how it does. Bring in more officials to focus on to focus on different areas, and then we'll go from there. Newcastle really is the only smart location. So run this configuration next year backwards and bring an extra 15 people and hand out penalties like your life depended on it. Or change the racing rule up, as in if the person on your inside has the corner, back out of it. Be smart. Don't be retarded. This isn't a politically correct show, so sorry. If I offend you, it's okay. You'll get over it. Basically, that's it. Just run backwards, get more officials. Let's see what happens next year. I mean, the cart count is going to be limited tire. I mean, for the grants, it's only one set of tires, Chris. You get one set of tires for the whole weekend. Once you bolt those on for qualifying, that's your only set. I do agree for regional racing. If for regional racing, I think you should be one set only, even if it's around 3 and 4, just because it's another day and different round. Who gives a shit? 3 and 4, one set of tires. That means I would win the championship. One set of tires. Even if I do bad, I still shit talk. No, they weren't watching. What? Yeah, I mean, leave at the, yeah, just a little bit more officiating. That's it. It probably really didn't need that much tweaking. When we really sit back down and think about it, just more officiating, more people helping the officiating, watching the corners are supposed to be watching, and then handing out penalties like they're supposed to, or change the driving standard that, hey, if this guy sends it in and slams me and he doesn't have the corner, he gets a penalty. But if at the apex he's there, the guy on the outside, if he gets sent to heaven, then that was his fault. Mm. All right, man. We've been here for an hour and 30 minutes bullshitting. It's cool. I love talking. If you guys have any questions, throw them up real quick before I get off of here. Real reason we're getting off of here is because I only brought 3 beers up here, so I'm out of beer. That's messed up. Oh no, I had a good time. It was good information. I'm glad you guys were active in the chat. Hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. I had a pleasure seeing everybody out there. If you guys have any questions, please, send me a message. I'm more than happy to answer them. In the end, I had a blast when I look at it. I mean, I'm still pissed off about it, but it's racing, I guess, in the end. That's what we're all gonna say. That's our main thing we're gonna say. Yeah, senior heavy race was good. Congratulations to all the winners out there. Um, it's a definitely what you guys did is super difficult. It's what everybody's chasing after. So be extremely proud of what you did. Extremely proud of the wins that went down. It sucks that the senior medium race was destroyed by one individual, but who gives a shit? There's next year. Hopefully, um, they clean up the racing and get their act right. But in the end, guys, stay safe, enjoy, help out the local clubs, support the channel by hitting a thumbs up and subscribing. And I'll catch you guys on track on the next one. Love you guys. Take it easy.